Hello students, in this lecture we are going to study what is a silicon controlled rectifier, its construction, working modes of SCR, its VI volt ampere characteristics, turn on, turn off methods and some applications of SCR, and also the two transistor model of working of SCR. Plus, let us first consider what is an SCR. SCR, the abbreviation silicon controlled rectifier, is the most widely used element in the thyristor family. Here, thyristor family means thyristor family is nothing but the power semiconductor devices family. The power semiconductor devices, we have many devices like SCR, triac, diac, power BJT, insulated gate bipolar transistor, etc. Among these, the SCR is the most widely used device in the thyristor family. So thyristor, when we are saying thyristor, means it is a power semiconductor device. Here the term power means it can handle huge current up to hundreds of amperes of current, voltage up to few kilovolts. So because of this large power handling capability, it is widely used in the domestic as well as in the industrial applications. The applications of SCR mainly classified into three areas. Switching applications in the industry, we need to switch the big machinery which is operating at high power levels, voltage and current levels as a switch. Conversion applications in the industry, that is, in the industry we need to operate the machinery with the different voltages. Sometimes it requires AC voltages, sometimes it requires DC, sometimes both. So we need to convert this voltages from AC to DC or DC to AC. So the thyristor here, the SCR can be used as a converter, that is to convert AC to DC. So thyristor is used to convert a AC voltage, huge amount of AC voltages into DC, that is used as a power rectifier. So it is used as a switching device in the industry. It is used as a power converter to convert a huge amount of AC to large amount of AC voltages into DC, and also it can be used as DC to one level of DC to another level of DC, known as a chopper. Not only DC to DC, it can also be used to convert the AC to AC, known as cycloconverter. So the many applications, switching, conversion and controlling applications includes as a for regulation of big machinery, regulating the voltages as well as their speeds. It finds applications in the industry. So let us first start the construction of the SCR. The name silicon controlled rectifier, it is constructed with the material silicon, not with the germanium. Silicon, why? Because the leakage current of germanium is more than the silicon. So because of this, we have with the germanium, if it is constructed, we have a large power loss leakage. So because of this, the SCRs are mainly constructed by using the silicon. So silicon construction, let us go to the construction of SCR. So SCR construction of a silicon control rectifier. See this here, the silicon control rectifier is a 4-layer 3-terminal power semiconductor device. The 4 layers are PN, PN. The outer layers are heavily doped, outer P and N layers are heavily doped, and the middle N and P layers are moderately doped. The outer P layer acts as anode, the outer N layer acts as cathode, and the inner P layer acts as a controlling terminal known as gate. So it is a 4-layer 3-terminal device, and it has 3 junctions, J1, J2 and J3. So this is the construction of silicon control rectifier. So the biasing of these junctions J1, J2, J3 depends on biasing condition of these junctions J1, J2, J3 depends on the voltage applied to the terminals, the polarity of the voltage applied to the terminals anode, cathode and gate. The biasing condition of the junction J1, J2, J3 means they are whether they are forward biased or reverse biased. The junction that depends on the applied voltage on the anode, cathode and gate. So accordingly, the way that we connect the voltage to the terminals, 3 terminals of the SCR, the operation of the SCR is classified into divided into 3 modes. That is, first one forward blocking mode, forward conduction mode and reverse blocking mode. Let us see what is forward blocking mode. That is the operation here, the working of modes of SCR. There are 3 working modes of SCR. It is forward blocking mode, forward conduction mode and reverse blocking mode. What is forward blocking mode? In the forward blocking mode of operation, the silicon control rectifier is connected. The anode terminal is made positive with respect to cathode, while the gate terminal is kept open. In the forward blocking mode of operation, anode is positive terminal, cathode negative terminal of the supply and the gate terminal is open. In this state, because of this, the junctions J1, J3 are forward biased and the junction J2 is reverse biased. So the junction J1 and J3 on the either sides of the SCR are forward biased, but the middle junction that is J2 is reverse biased. So in the middle we have a reverse biased junction. Due to this, it is not allowing the current to move from anode to cathode. So the SCR is said to be in the off state. A small current, because it is flowing at the junction J2, that is known as leakage current. and the magnitude of this leakage current is very small, and we can neglect this current, and the device is said to be in the forward blocking mode, or that is also known as off state. Therefore, the SCR acts as open switch in this mode by blocking forward current flowing through the SCR. That is shown in the VA characteristics. Let us see the VA characteristics. So this is the forward blocking mode. This is the forward blocking. Small leakage current. This is the small amount of leakage current. Up to this is the forward blocking mode. Okay. Coming to the next mode of operation, that is forward conduction mode. So initially the SCR, when the anode is made positive with respect to cathode and gate terminal is open, the junction J2 is not in the middle, which is reverse biased, not allowing the current to flow from anode to cathode. Therefore, the SCR is in the off state, that is in the forward blocking state. Next, the mode of operation is the forward conduction mode. So in this mode, that is, so when in this mode the SCR comes into conduction from the blocking. So SCR can be turned into conduction by increasing the anode to cathode voltage. When we increasing the anode to cathode voltage, the reverse biased junction J2 gets breakdown at one point of voltage, and already J1, J3 are forward bias, so therefore the SCR enters into conduction. So the point of voltage, when we are increasing the anode to cathode voltage, at one point of voltage the junction J2 gets breakdown and the device enters into conduction from the blocking mode to conduction mode in the forward operation. So that's why it is called as forward conduction mode, or simply the device enters into on state. Here the device enters into conduction by application of by increasing the applied voltage to between the anode and cathode above the breakover voltage. What is breakover voltage? It is the minimum voltage applied to anode and cathode at which the junction J2 gets breakdown and the device enters into conduction, that is from blocking mode to conduction mode. It is known as breakover voltage, the minimum anode to cathode voltage at which the junction J2 gets breakdown and the SCR enters into conduction is known as forward breakover voltage. So in the forward conduction mode, the device can also be turned on, SCR can also be turned on by applying the gate current. By applying, here we have gate is kept open, so by applying the gate current, the reverse bias at the junction J2 gets reduced. At one point of gate voltage, the reverse bias at the junction is completely removed and the device starts conducting the current. This is known as gate triggering of SCR. So the SCR enters into conduction either by applying the gate triggering current or by increasing the anode to cathode voltage. So here in the VA characteristics, let us see the VA characteristics. The value here Ig1, Ig2 and Ig3 are the values of the gate currents where the Ig3 is less than Ig2 is less than Ig1. So when the Ig, when we are increasing the gate triggering current, the breakover voltage is going to be reduced. When Ig is increasing, gate breakover voltage is going to be reduced. So here this is the breakover voltage for Ig1. For Ig1, this is the breakover voltage. Let us say 30 volts. 30 volts. If Ig1 is 1 milliampere, let us assume Ig1 is 1 milliampere. 1. If Ig2, let us consider Ig2 is 5 milliamperes. 5 milliamperes. Then its breakover voltage reduces to 25 volts. This is the breakover voltage. Ig3, let us 10 milliamperes. Then its breakover voltage is only, this is the breakover voltage. This is the breakover voltage. This is the breakover voltage, which is only around 15 volts. So when we are increasing the gate current, the breakover voltage is going to be reduced. VBO is going to be reduced. This is important consideration. And here one more important definitions are the holding current and the latching current. Holding current is the minimum anode current below which the SCR enters from. If we reduce the anode current below this value, then the SCR enters from this on state to this off state. So below which, if we reduce the SCR current of SCR by some means, the device enters from on state to off state. So below which the SCR enters in from, it is the value of anode current below which the SCR enters from forward conducting state to forward blocking state, from on state to off state. This is the definition of holding current. And latching current is the minimum amount of anode current which is required to maintain the SCR in the on state. That is the latching current. Characteristics. We are studying the VA characteristics for and next mode of operation is the reverse blocking. In this mode of operation, the cathode is made positive with respect to anode. Then because of this, the junction J1, because of this cathode and anode voltage, cathode is more positive, cathode is connected with positive supply, anode is connected with negative supply, and the new terminal is kept open. The junction J1, J3 are reverse biased and J2 is forward biased. J1, J3 on either side of the SCR are at reverse biased, and the junction J2 in the middle, which is forward biased. So because we have two reverse bias junctions on the either side of the SCR, so the SCR is in the off state, that is in the blocking state, because it is operated in the reverse direction, that is cathode is made positive with respect to anode, so it is called as reverse operation. So since in the reverse operation the J1, J3 are reverse bias, J2 in the middle, we have forward bias, though forward bias is present at the middle, but we have reverse bias on either side, so the device is in the off state. This mode of operation is called reverse blocking mode, reverse blocking mode, or the off state. So the device in this state, the device offers a very high impedance until the applied voltage is less than the breakdown voltage of the SCR. If the reverse applied voltage is increased beyond the breakover voltage in the reverse direction, then the avalanche breakdown occurs at junction J1 and J3, which results in increase in the reverse current through the SCR. This reverse current causes more losses in the SCR and even to increase the heat of it. So the reverse saturation current doubles for every 10 degrees centigrade rise in temperature. So therefore this is a cumulative process, leads to the damage of the SCR. So it is not preferable to operate the SCR in the reverse direction. So SCR is a unidirectional conducting device. Unidirectional conducting device like a diode. Coming to the two transistor model of working of SCR. The two transistor analogy or two transistor model of SCR is the easiest way to understand the working of SCR. So by visualizing it, SCR, it is a combination of two transistors as shown in the figure. See this figure. So the middle N and P layers are common to both transistors. The outer P layer and the N layer are individual, belongs to individual transistors. Here, see this, the inner N and P layers, inner N layer and P layers are common to both the transistors. See, the base of one transistor is connected to the collector of the other transistor. The construction, see, observe. Here, the base of transistor T2 is connected to the base of transistor T1 is connected to the collector, and similarly the base of transistor T2 is connected to the collector of T1. This is T1, this is T2 transistor, T1 transistor. This is T1, this is T2. See, when the collector of each transistor is connected to base of the other transistor, and assume the load resistance here, the load resistance is connected between the, assume the load resistance is connected between the, here the load resistance is connected between the anode and cathode RL, and a small gate triggering, a small gate triggering current is applied. Small gate current is applied to the base of the transistor T2, so its collector current increases. That when we apply a small gate current at a transistor T2, its collector current increases, which is also the base current of T1. So the collector current of T1 also increases. When there is no, so the device enters into connection. If there is no gate current at the base of T2, there is no collector current, so that is nothing but there is no base current of T1, so therefore there is no collector current to the T1. So when there is no gate triggering current, there is no base current to the transistor T2, therefore no current at the collector of transistor T2, nothing but there is no base current to the transistor T1, and there is no current to the, no collector current at the T1. Means when there is no gate triggering pulse, the collector current depends on the base current, because we know the relation IC is equal to beta times of I1. So when there is no gate current, so no gate triggering pulse, there is no base current to the transistor T2, therefore its collector current is 0, which is the base current of T1. When with 0 base current of T1, there is no collector current, so the device is in the off state. So when we apply a gate triggering current at T2, at the base of T2, that is the base current of T2, its collector current increases, nothing but the base current of T1, and the collector current also increases. So this is a regenerative operation. Increase in one will increase in the current of one transistor will increase in the current of the other. That is called as a regenerative operation. So let us come to the operation once again. When there is no gate voltage, the transistor 2 is in cut-off mode due to 0 base current, therefore no current flows through the collector of transistor 2, and hence the base current of transistor T1 is also at 0 current. So when hence the base current of transistor T1 is 0, it is also in the off state. Hence both the transistors are open circuited, and the current flows through the load is also 0. No current flows through the load. When particular voltage is applied between the gate and cathode, that is the gate triggering voltage is applied, a small base current, gate current increases, nothing but a small base current flows through the base of the transistor 2, and thereby its collector current will increase, and hence the base current at a transistor T1 drives the transistor T1 into saturation mode. Thus the load current will flow from anode to cathode. From the above figure, the base current of transistor T2 becomes collector current of transistor T1, and vice versa. So we have some derivation. how these two transistors are enters into regenerative operation, or in a small time they enters into conduction with application of gate recurring voltage. Let us see this derivation with the help of this derivation. Here IB2, the base current of transistor 2, is nothing but the collector current of transistor 1, IC1, and the collector current of transistor 2 is the base current of transistor 1, IB. Also current through the cathode terminal, that is IK. Current through the cathode terminal is the IK is the sum of gate current and the anode current. For transistor 1, IB1 is equal to IB1 minus IC1. For any transistor we have the relation IC is equal to IE is equal to IB plus IC. So we can write the equation for base current IB1, which is the sum, which is IE minus IC. So when IB1 is given by the equation IB1 minus IC1, that is in equation 2, and IC1, we can write the equation for IC1 collector current corresponding this configuration, which is alpha IB1 plus IC alpha, shown in equation 3, where IC1 is the leakage current of transistor 1. Substituting equation 3 in equation 2, it is substituting the value of IC1 in the equation 2.